Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue with our application. So far so good. We have so many things to discover today because Val has set up the full CRUD of our application, and today we're going to look at it and I'm going to show you some very beautiful things that he has done, and after that we're going to continue with our application. First of all, we're going to do get all cats, get my cats. After that we're going to get cat by ID, and at the end we're going to do this edit my cat thing, and after that we're going to delete a cat if it's our cat, of course. So let me just start by showing you what we have done so far. If we go to this catstagram here, we can see that Ivalo has developed a lot of things, and here we have a Swagger. Swagger is a very cool thing. Believe me, if you're a developer, you're going to love this, because here you can see everything that is needed in order to develop your front-end part of the application. Why? Because if you were wondering how we can do this post request because we don't know how the fields are called or how are they spelled or what exactly the backend needs for us in order to create something new, well, here is your answer to mostly all of your questions. So here we have this get, which shows us that here we have this request that should be get, and here we on success we're going to receive code 200, and of course we can specify a lot of things here, but the most magical thing about this Swagger here is that you can go and click try it out, and after that you can execute this. Let me show you. Here the curl will show you what exactly you're going to execute. So you can request it as text plain, or you can change that to application JSON. But the most important thing here is that we're going to get either a response 200 or for one unauthorized. So if I go and click execute right now, I'm going to see here that I have this response, and it should not bother me at all because we know that we have to put our token there in order to work. And if you were wondering right now how we can put our token here in order to work, we can going to use this mod header extension for Google Chrome. If you Google it, you are going to see that it's very easy to install it. Here you should read something like install or plugin or whatever it is. Here I have removed from home because I have already installed it. Let me show you how it is working. Once you have installed it, you can go here and select your mod header plugin. After that, let me just clear all of the things that you can be able to see the whole process. So I'm going to add here another rule that I want to make. So basically you have to know what you're doing. First thing first, we are going to make requests, right? From frontend, we're going to make requests. Okay, so after that, we're going to modify our headers. I have shown you how we can achieve that through either interceptors or adding headers in our Angular application. But right now I'm going to show you how you can do it in your browser just in order to talk to this Swagger UI. Okay, so I'm going to set request header. And here I'm going to choose the name of my request header. So of course it's going to be authorization. Basically, it is the same here. If we go to our services and go to authorization service.ts, no, it was interceptor service. We have interceptor token interceptor service. You can see that here we have this set header, what basically we have done, add new header, which is authorization. And after that we have bearer, and after that we have this token that the backend generates for us when we logged in. So basically we are going to go to Swagger right now and click on this login/login, identity/login, and here I'm going to execute this. Let me try this out. Here I'm going to execute this by typing my user and my password. So basically I have this test user, which is with password 123 4, 5, 6, 7, 8i, and I'm going to execute this. Once I have done this correctly, I'm going to see my response from backend, which is the token. So I'm going to take this and put it in my extension. I'm going to choose my extension and set the value. But as you know, here it's not enough just to put your token, but you should specify that it's better. So I'm going to take this and put it in front of my token, and now I'm going to save that, okay? But here's the thing. Just for now, I'm going to disable this authorization header just to show you what are you going to see when we don't have this. I believe we have, but let me just do it one more time. I'm going to say execute, and here you're going to see 401, which is unauthorized. I'm going to enable again my token and execute. As you can see here, we have 200, which is okay, because now we have modified the request. We have put our header, which was authorization, after that bearer and the token, and as you can see here, we have the response from the backend for all of the cats. That's not cool here, because we have pasted some encoded string on base 64. That's not cool. Okay, guys, don't do this. I don't know why this is here, but we just need to copy image URL address, not the image itself, because the image itself is base 64 encoded string. Okay, so right now we're going to implement this on the front end, and of course I'm going to show you how we can achieve that. So first thing first, let me think how we can display that. Well, we can use some stuff from Bootstrap in order to display all of the cats, and after that maybe we can do a navigation bar, but that is going to be a separate video, because the navigation bar we should pay attention to the navigation bar. Okay, so right now we're going to implement that. Let me just check what we have from Bootstrap here. I believe there are some pretty cool cards in Bootstrap 4 that we can use for our cats. If I say get started, we are going to see components, and after that we are going to go to card. Here's the card. So we can use this card in order to display our cats. And here we can put the image of our cat, and after that the title. Let me see what we have here. We have just the ID and the image URL. Okay, I believe that in the future we're going to have description, maybe a creation date for these cats, and so on. So for now, it's good to put this card, and after that we're going to see how we can do another thing with this card, and how we can make our application more good in order to have, I don't know, dates, description. Why do we don't have description here? Maybe I have to talk to Ivalo and ask him to put the description here also, because it's going to be very nice to have description on Get. Why not? Okay, let me start. So here I'm going to say that we have create post, and now I'm going to see list cats. Okay, so I'm going to get my console, and here I'm going to see ngGC, which stands for Angular generate component, which will be list cats. Okay, so this component right now, we're going to write some HTML for it. Okay, I can see that it is created. I can see that the module, the app module, is modified. So as you can see here, we have this list cats component, which is new for us. And again, we're going to write some HTML here. So I'm going to copy this card from Bootstrap and show you how we can proceed further. So I'm going to paste that here. And of course, we're going to need a couple of things. First thing first, let me bind an URL to this component. So I'm going to go to app routing and say that we're going to have another route, which will be and object M it's going to be path. After that, I'm going to say that it's going to be for cats, and of course, after that, we will have component. In this case, the component will be list cats component. Okay, of course, can activate should be without guard service because we don't want to list cats if we're not authenticated. We're going every time we can go here and change that if we want. So for now, it's okay. We can remove that anytime, and I'm going to say okay. So now I want to go to my application and say /cats. Here's the card. Of course, it's broken because we don't have a valid link here, I believe. Let me check that. Yes, we don't have. And now we have to bind information from backend to this card. A couple of questions to notice here. First thing first, we have a lot of cats, okay? It's not just one cat, it's a lot of cats. There are a lot of cats. Second thing is that we have to call at some point our backend in order to receive this information. So when you're going to call this backend, we're going to need a service, of course. We have a couple of services here, and I can see that we have this cat service. This cat service is our best candidate to write our logic for getting all the cats, right? So here after create, I'm going to say get cats. And let me think of it. Should I put some parameter here? No. Why? Because all of the things I should do here is just one thing, and this thing is that I have to specify the route, nothing else. So I'm going to say that here we will have observable of type cat, and I'm going to return this .http.get, and here I'm going to specify this .cat path. Let me check if this cat path is okay, and it is the correct URL. Cat path is equal to cats. If I go to Swagger, the magic thing here, we'll see that here we should have cats. Okay, so here we're just doing post request to cats in order to create. That's the rest thing we should apply here. That in one URL we have list cats and create cat, and in one URL we have get single cat, edit single cat, and delete single cat. So right now we're going to cast this to cat, and we're going to code this function. I'm going to list component.ts, and I'm going to call this service, but first I have to inject it. So private cat service of type cat service, and it's imported. I'm going to call this cat service get cats, and because this is an observable, I have to subscribe to it and say that the data or the cats or result, whatever you like, is going to be stored in a variable. So I have to create my variable, which will be cats of type array of cats, and I'm going to import this, and of course I'm going to assign to this .cats my cats from the result. Here you can see that I have a problem. Why I have a problem? Well, I'm sure that I'm going to receive an array of cats, even though if I have only 4 cats, I even can have just one cat, but because it's cat and it's an array of results, I'm going to receive an array of one object or an array of, I don't know, 3, 4, or 200, however they are in our backend. So we have a little mistake here in our cat service, because here we don't expect just a cat. We're expecting an array of cats. So I should say that this is array of cats. And I'm going to put that here. And of course, I'm going to say that it is an observable of array of cat. and I'm going to put that here again. Okay, and now if I return to my component, you will see that no errors are there. So if I save that, no, first of all, I want to console log this in order to show you something. This.cats. If I go here and open my console, you will see failed to load resource. The server responds with status 404, not found, which is very interesting. Let me see why. Here we have cats, which is 200. Oh, okay, 404 is for this image URL that here my card here is trying to make a request to the source, but source is not found, so the response is 404. But here we have these cats, and as you can see, we have this array of objects, and here we have the first thing is with ID 2, and we have image URL, whatever it is, 2, 3, and so on. So I'm going to bind this to our HTML. The second question will be how we're going to achieve that, because we don't have much cards. Should I do for every cat a card? Basically yes, but you're not going to do this manually. So I'm going to delete that, and let me just first do a couple of things. I'm going to say that here I'm going to say div with class container fluid. Let's make it fluid. Container fluid, in which I'm going to have div with class row. Inside I'm going to have div with class call lg, let's say 4 or 3. Let's have 3 multiplied by 4. And here I'm going to put this, but I'm going to do something really unexpected. I'm going to delete these columns, and here I'm going to repeat this code a couple of times. So you're developers, you know how we can repeat code sample a couple of times. So we're going to use a loop, and we're going to use for loop in this case. In Angular, we are able to do something like for loop in HTML. So we are going to do that here in our columns. I'm going to say that I'm going to use ng4. Please put that in front of it because it's changing the HTML. So it's changing the DOM. So that is why with this star asterisk in front of it. So be very careful when you write ng4 or ngif or whatever. It is a structural directive. So don't forget that because it's not going to work. ng4 let cat of what? So here I have to specify the array, which is from my component. And here is the variable that holds my information about the cats. So I'm going to say that let cat of cats, because the cats is the name of the variable in the TypeScript component, which holds my array. And here I can bind a couple of things. So the attribute I'm going to bind with these brackets, and inside of it I'm going to say cat dots, and here we can check in this magic swagger thing that we have a response from ID and image URL. So I'm going to copy that and put that here. Just in case, I'm going to render the ID because we don't have a name or description or whatever it is. And I'm going to put here cat.id just to be informed that the cards are okay. If I save that and go back to my component, you can see here that we have these 3 cards. Why 3? Because if I go to my response from /cats, you can see that here we have where was the request? Here it is. Here we have just 3 cats, array of 3 cats, and we have 3 cards. So our for loop is working. So now we have to investigate what is going on with these images, okay? So if I go and copy this image URL, we can investigate if this image exists or not, and to see where is the problem. So if I put that here, okay, what have I put? This picture. We're going to test that again, but here some images are corrupted. I don't know why. You want to tell me that this link does not work? And another one? Yeah, I suppose. Okay, let's say that we have cats, and here we're going to use tools. Any results? Past hour. Let's see what we have for the past hour about cats. Okay, we have some kittens here. I'm going to say that we want to do something like advanced search. Full color. Let's see what we are going to have. Okay, I'm going to choose this one. This is a gift. Okay, maybe this. For the next video, I'm going to have my cat's photos, and we're going to upload them. Copy image address, and if I go and put the image address here, you can see that we can see the cat. So I'm going to say create cat. What was the URL for creation? By the way, in the next video, we're going to do some routing from the navbar. So it's going to be a lot better than now. I'm just switching to the ID and browser to see what we have. Okay, just create. Here we have the image URL, and here we have cat. If we say create, we have 201, and if we go to cats, we are expecting to see our new cat, which is here. Okay, we are having right now this cat. I don't know why the URL aren't working. Maybe it's because they shut down the URL, the site. I don't know. I don't care. If we do this in our application, we should be very aware where we are going to take our sources, because if it's a real life site and people are really expecting to see cats when they go here, maybe we want to store these things in separate place. Let's say that we want to have in our backend the URLs, but the pictures itself are stored in another place, or we have stored the picture itself. It doesn't matter, but we're going to think about this if this is a real case scenario and a real site. So be careful about it. And we have getCats. Of course, we can do a lot of things here. We can ask Ivalo to send us description, for example, for this cat. And for the next video, we're going to see how we can click this button and go to the information about this cat, this specific cat. Let me show you something. If we go to Swagger and I go to cats/ID and I put some ID here, let's say I want ID 4, I'm not able to edit this. Oh, now I am. Okay, so if I click execute, you can see here the information about the cat, which is the description, the user ID, username, ID4, image URL. Okay, so we're going to implement this in the next video, and we're going to do it very clever, because if we are the owner of this post, we're going to be able to edit the cat also. So we're going to change this. And here, by the way, I have something to share with you. See how we have user ID here, and this user ID is it's not just numbers. It also contains some symbols, and we can say that it is string. But if I go here in my models, let me just see how the cats are. Okay, the cats are number. If I go to my models, I want to see is everything okay right now. So if I go to the cat, you can see we have ID, which is number, image URL, which is string, description, which is string, and here we're going to have username and user ID. I'm going to put that here. By the way, you can do this also. And here I can say user ID is a string, and username is string also. Be careful here because we are reusing the same model for getAllCats, which just have ID and image URL, and we're going to use that for getSpecificCat or editCat or deleteCat. And here we are mixing two models, but we can do something very, very clever here, and we can say that description is optional, user ID is optional, and username is optional too. If they are in the response, that's okay for us. If they aren't, they're not mandatory. So if I save that and go back here and just see the console, we can see that we have again this 400, but it's because this URL does not exist anymore. So it's not our problem for us or from the backend. So we're going to continue building our application. And of course, when we have delete, we're going to delete these two cards in order to see our console look more beautiful than this. Thank you for watching this video. If you find it helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're Bulgarian and understand Bulgarian language, please subscribe to my channel. You can find the link down below also. Bye.